Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Chris Mueller in a matter of moments, and you can give us a call, 412-575-2600. There he is right now. Chris, we have a few things to talk about. The Battling Buccos are on a 2-game win streak, but one of their starters is out for the season, Jared Jones. We kind of knew this a couple days ago that, it was trending towards surgery, but I tried to look up and contacted one of my doctor friends, the difference between Tommy John and UCL repair, and it sounds like it's about 6 months different, right? This is just like a repair instead of a total reconstruction.
And that's the difference that I understand to be in play here. They took great pains to say he had UCL surgery. He did not have Tommy John surgery, which either involves taking a ligament or a tendon from another part of your body or taking one from a cadaver and then reconstructing it completely. As you said, the word is right there. This makes me think, I guess, he had a partial tear of his UCL. At least that's like the basic logic I follow here, and they're repairing this partial tear and putting it fully back together. I still think in situations like this, Rich, you take the longer end of the rehab timetable. I'm sure Jared Jones is hyper motivated to prove to everybody that he's going to come back better than ever, but man, them saying 10 to 12 months and ooh, he might be back, very close to the start of the 2026 season seems pretty suspect and really optimistic, I guess. I'll be stunned if he's back before, I don't know, Father's Day of 2026.
No question about that. I was thinking the same thing. When was the last time you heard the Pirates say, hey, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks, and it was more than 6 weeks before someone came back. So I'm not very optimistic that he'll be here to start the season. But if there's any season to lose a guy like this, I guess it would be this season. They're on pace for, 36 wins right now? I mean, one of the worst seasons in Pirates history. So why even waste his arm?
I mean, I'm not really going to look at it that way, mainly because they don't deserve the grace here. I know that you're not saying it like, well, this was a punt anyway. The problem is they're on pace to win something like 40-plus games barely, like 110 losses maybe at current trends persist. And they were supposed to be winning this year. This is year 6.
Yeah.
This is when it was supposed to come to fruition for Ben Cherington. And they look pretty clearly, along with the White Sox and the truly moribund Rockies, like one of the 3 worst teams in baseball, which is just an inescapable reality. The fact that they won, by the way, 2 out of 3 against the Reds, Richie, I know you are predisposed to always look on the bright side and to always be 1 game away from catching Bucco fever, but it was really just a testament to great pitching and continued pathetic hitting that was barely good enough. They have a chance to set a dubious record, all-time Major League record, 4 or fewer runs. If it's another game, if it's tomorrow's game, they will set a record, and I will point out to people that the 2 teams that they now share the record with for most games with 4 or fewer runs accomplished, if you want to use that feat, prior to the DH, 1969 and I believe 31. They didn't even have a designated hitter. They had half the time an automatic out in the lineup. It's truly pathetic, the offense that Ben Cherington built.
Yeah, it was the 31 Boston Braves, who don't exist anymore, a different name, but also the 69 California Angels. So, yeah, it is incredible. 1 more game. If they don't score more than 4 runs, and what makes you think they're going to score more than 4 runs right now? It's embarrassing. Ben Cherington, maybe he got the starting pitching right. I mean, he definitely did. Paul Skeens fell into his lap. Unfortunately, Jared Jones isn't here. And I want to get to Bubba Chandler, why he isn't here in a second. But to not go out, and I know we've been beating this drum all year, but to not go out and get a hitter is inexcusable. What is he thinking? I mean, sometimes, when coaches overcoach and you're sitting there like, what are they doing here? They outthink themselves or outsmart themselves. Is this the case here with him?
I mean, there's 2 major problems as I see it. He didn't have a big enough budget from his owner. That's kind of a persistent problem here. And the budget he did have, he squandered at least half of, it seems like, filling the place with every analytics-minded person he could find and not actually filling the roster with actual good baseball players, at least guys that can hit the ball. And I don't want to hear, as I have heard, this idea or this excuse that, well, when you look at so-and-so's career OPS, it's just clear this team is victimized by horrible bad luck and bad timing. So-and-so has a career OPS of this, he'll eventually hit. The guys who have really good career OPSs, like specifically Andrew McCutchen, are on the last hole or two of their career. Like, he's on the 17th green getting ready to go to the 18th tee. This is it for him, I think. Tommy Pham's 37 and he stinks. I don't care what his career OPS is. Brian Reynolds is 30 and doesn't feel like a player who's going to age gracefully, and he's been terrible. The rest of these guys who you say, oh, his career OPS is 200 points higher, or it's around 700 at least, most of them have short enough career track records where I would say that's a small sample size. Like, why is there any reason, for example, to believe that Ke'Bryan Hayes will ever hit? He had an incredible introduction to the major leagues in 2020 in a COVID year, and he has not hit since. Like, why is there suddenly this belief that something is good around the corner for him at the plate? There's no evidence to suggest, other than one brief flash, that that's actually the case.
You know, there's only two Pirates right now that have a batting average over 250. That's Joey Bart and also IKF. But I think there's only one guy. I haven't looked it up recently, but I think O'Neal Cruz is the only one with over a 700 OPS.
Bart is barely over 700, but I think like the league average for players is 710 or something like that. Bart's at 711. Cruz is in the 770s or 780s. He was above 900 not that long ago. He's been in a big slump. They have one good. I won't even call it like great. Above average to good offensive player right now. They have another guy in Bart who I would say is like right at average. And then they have a bunch of below average to like really, and I want to use this word because it's accurate, terrible offensive players. So you ask, how can you constantly go game in, game out without scoring more than 4 runs? I guess when your lineup on any given night is populated by 75% atrocious offensive players, that's how you get there.
You look at the bottom of the order, it's all one something, 190, 140, 160 or whatever. When we come back, we can talk a little bit about Henry Davis, but I also want to get to our live poll question by Xfinity. Do you think the Steelers or the NFL did the right thing by banning the tush push? Just scan that QR code on the right-hand corner of the screen. When we come back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. This is from Noah Hiles over at the PG, the Pirates beat writer. Scores 26 straight games with 4 or less runs scored for the Pirates time. The 31 Braves, the 69 Angels for longest streak in baseball's modern era. Tomorrow, the Pirates can be all alone in this category. This is like one of the worst. You don't want to be known as the team that can't score any runs. And nothing gives me hope when you have Henry Davis, Pham, Adam Frazier, Jared Triolo, whoever they're going to put at the bottom of that order. No wonder you can't score any runs. But, you know, Henry Davis was 2 for 2 today, maybe getting that batting average up. Do you think at all this, I understand, but a game like this, does this maybe give you confidence? It's like when we're out on the course, so we make a couple, 5-foot birdies, and then you're feeling good on the green. I mean, and then the next round, you miss all of them.
I mean, speak for yourself, Richie. The last 18 I played, I started flushing it late, but I still couldn't roll in a birdie on any of the last several holes. Davis, to answer your question as seriously as I am capable of at 10:45 at night, thinking about a team that is one of the most wretched offenses I've ever seen in any sport, basketball, hockey, football, baseball, all of them. In fact, there are soccer teams scoring more than the Pirates these days, if we're being honest. Davis, via pedigree, or at least where he was still projected to be a first-round pick. He shouldn't have been the first overall pick. We know that the strategy there was to take a guy and then divvy up some of the money elsewhere, and it just did not work, and Davis looks more like a bust. At least in terms of pedigree, you would hope he starts hitting. I think he came into the game, Richie, just to show you how bad things are. He also took a walk in this game. He went 2 for 2 in official at-bats. He came into the game hitting 150. His average coming out of the game was 190. 2 hits raised his average 40 points. That is a testament to how little he plays and how poorly he does when he actually plays. So they need to hope that he somehow finds something, hits the ball hard, and starts finding gaps and elevating the ball and hopefully hitting it over the fence, because they really do desperately need anything resembling a threat other than Cruz in this lineup.
All right, well, don't forget about our live poll question, sponsored by Xfinity. You can just scan that QR code. Should the NFL have banned the tush push? Most of you guys are saying no, 66%. So let's go out to the phone lines. And John in Cranberry. How you doing, John?
Hey, Rich and Chris. Thanks for taking my call. I'm going to make it a football call tonight, too. First of all, condolences to the Irsay family for the passing of Jim Irsay, the Colts owner. But I wanted to talk about the tush-push, which you mentioned, Richie. What you and Chris thought of the owners not voting on banning it. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm confused, so excuse my ignorance, but what is this flag football, Olympic flag football thing all about? Would the players want to risk injury for that? Is it really? I didn't even know it was really a sport.
It sounds like it. It's going to be in the 28 Olympics. It sounds like the players want to do it. They're going to negotiate terms, I think, with the NFLPA and potentially the Olympic Committee, but the owners approved it. For the tush push, where do you stand, Chris? Because, to me, I think it's fine. Who cares? I know some teams are arguing player safety, but the Eagles are arguing that it's safer. I don't see how it's safer. But anyways, I'm fine with it. And the Steelers were one of the teams that voted to ban it. They were 2 votes shy.
Just a note on the flag football thing. I mean, the reason the NFL voted 32-0 among the owners to move it along and approve it is because they want to grow the game globally to as much of a degree as they can. As far as player safety goes, like, would players want to risk it? I thought that same thing that the caller brought up right there, but I believe I read something where the surfaces that they play on for the Olympics are going to be, like, strictly regulated. You think about the fact that they can't even get natural grass in every stadium in the NFL, even though the players desperately want it. They're probably at less of an injury risk, if I'm being honest, like a torn ligament or something like that. It only takes one, and these guys would get gun shy, but the playing surface might be better than what they're used to here. As far as the tush push, I'm of 2 minds here. Now, I initially said, sure, ban it, and it was pretty selfish, too, like my reasoning. I said, I am a viewer. I want to be entertained. I think aesthetically it is an incredibly ugly, anticlimactic play to watch because they're so good at it, and it's just, I want to watch explosive plays, but the longer I thought about it, the more I thought it's pretty distasteful that because one team is great at doing this, the NFL was going to take it away from them. Like, to me, that's antithetical to what the league should be all about. Like, if you want to say that kicking field goals from 40 to 45 yards has become way too automatic, like kickers are too good across the league, I'm with you there. Like, narrow the uprights a foot on each side. Make it difficult because everyone's good at it. The fact of the matter is, Richie, only the Eagles are really good at this. Like, Tom Brady was 90+% in his career on quarterback sneaks on 4th and 1. They didn't ban Tom Brady from sneaking the ball. The reason that the Eagles are so good at it is because Jalen Hurts can squat like 650 pounds, and he's a pretty low-to-the-ground dude. Josh Allen tried to do it and was not very good at it. Like, I ultimately came back around and said, even though aesthetically I hate the play and think it's kind of dumb-looking and it's more of a rugby play, there's only one team that's great at it, so they shouldn't be penalized for it.
All right, back out to the phone lines. We got Chuck in Uniontown. How you doing, Chuck?
Okay, thanks. Bubba Chandler, he should be up here right now, and methinks 29 other teams would have him up here right now, but because this organization is so lazy and stupid, I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah, it's a control thing, right? I mean, they want to keep it an extra year.
I think it's not, it's not like the team control for an extra year. I would imagine, the Super 2 calculation is a moving target that you've got to hit every year. I would imagine it's Super 2 related. I've seen that speculated on. And listen, I'm with Chuck. Chuck is the OG of Pirates callers. No one has suffered more with this team lately and lives and dies with every pitch like Chuck, so I wish they did right by people like him, but let's look at reality here. What are they? 17-33?
Yeah.
I think 18-33.
17-33.
Okay, they've won half as many games as they've lost. Like, is it really good, smart business if you think you're going to be able to contend in a year, next year maybe, if you think you're not going to get it so colossally wrong? Is it smart business to have Bubba Chandler come up right now as opposed to 2 weeks from now? Like, I get the outrage, but man, to your point, Richie, you said it about Jared Jones. I mean, where is this team going? Absolutely nowhere this year.
Bill in Greensburg. How you doing, Bill?
Gentlemen, hi, you guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Chris, I'm right there with Chuck. I'm 70 years old. I've been following the Pirates from the time I was at Forbes Field, and I'm still a season ticket holder, and I'm long-suffering. But the point I wanted to make, did you guys know that the Pirates starting pitching is third in all of baseball with a 2.17 ERA? If this owner would have just spent a lousy $20 million more and got a couple of hitters, I honestly believe we would have ran away with this division and been a real contender.
I don't know about running away with it, Bill, but I get your point. I mean, I wouldn't have spent the $4 or $5 million on Tommy Pham and the $2 million on Adam Frazier. And, Andrew McCutchen has been pleasantly good for his age. But I would have went out and got one guy. That's what they needed. Their bullpen's a complete failure, too. So they have more issues than bats.
Paul Goldschmidt's been a revelation. I know he was coming off the worst year of his career, but he could have been had. It would have been a roll of the dice. Christian Walker. I mean, they had names out there that they could have pursued, but it's not the kind of thing they do. That's not a defense of it. It's just a point-in-fact statement. And they telegraphed this. They tried to live in these two worlds, which I think are opposing. They said, we are urgently trying to win here. There's an urgency that permeates the entire organization, and it comes from the top. And yet in the same breath, they would say things like, most of our improvement has to be internal. Guess what? You got a bunch of career pretty bad players. If you're counting on mostly internal improvement, then you really aren't urgently trying to win.
Plus, I don't think free agents want to come here. You'd have to overpay them. And that's against everything that they do and stand for.
Okay. Well, then if you actually are urgently trying to win and you think that there is a Pirates tax you'll have to pay, then shouldn't you pay it?
Yep.
Or else I think it calls into question the sincerity of your statements about how urgently you're trying to win.
All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes.